Breaking news reaching us now. The leader of the Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, has been arrested, extradited to Nigeria, and is right now being arraigned at the Federal High Court in Abuja. Kanu is facing charges bordering on treasonable felony instituted against him at the Federal High Court in Abuja in response to the years of campaign for the Independent Republic of Biafra through IPOB. He was granted bail in April 2017 for health reasons, but skipped bail after flouting some of the conditions given to him by the court. He has also been on the run since then after soldiers raided his father's residence in Abia State. IPOB was later declared a terrorist group by the court after the Southeast governors prescribed it.
There's a live feeds coming to us in Abuja, where Nnamdi Kanu is being arraigned at the Federal High Court on charges bordering on treason.
I imagine we'll be hearing more of this story as it unfolds. First would be how they managed to get hold of him. Well, I guess they said he was extradited, so yes, it would mean that they had the cooperation of the foreign body that was able to extradite him.
Yes, and more importantly, he was actually arraigned in court in 2017 and granted bail. And we know that he actually skipped bail. He was granted bail, first of all, on medical grounds. Then he skipped bail. And ever since then, he's been on the run in the eyes of the law. I imagine
the officials were proceeding covertly, and which is why it's suddenly coming to the fore, almost like a surprise news, because he seemed to be out of the reach of the security agents for a period and was conducting his affairs from where he was, issuing statements and so forth. But now we find the next we hear of him, he's now in Abuja, which will come as a surprise to many.
Yes, it is, because for so many that don't know him, of course, he is Nnamdi Kanu. He is the leader of the Indigenous People of Biafra.
Self-appointed.
Okay, self-appointed. Okay, if you want to put it that way, and he's also a British citizen, certainly. And so he had actually jumped bail, and this was back in 2017, and ever since then, he has made appearances here and there, but today he's in the Federal High Court in Abuja, where he's been arraigned. We're seeing live pictures from that Federal High Court, where he's been arraigned on charges bordering on treason.
Yes, treasonable felony, they say, the charges against him. And so it remains to be seen how long this process will take, what sort of evidence they will be calling up, who the witnesses will be in this case, and how much access the media will be given, because a lot of people will be interested in the proceedings, and we would hope it would be transparent.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping, because the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Mr. Abubakar Malami, SAN, who made this disclosure to journalists, revealed that Kanu was arrested and brought back to Nigeria on Sunday. So he's been in the country for the last 2 days, and today he's been arraigned before the court.
We can see lots of media officials waiting patiently, maybe expecting to get a glimpse of Nnamdi Kanu at some point or the other, and maybe to even hear from his lawyers. I imagine he will be represented by legal personnel at some point. So there's a lot that needs to be filled in. We can see them rushing, so perhaps we're about to see the emergence of Nnamdi Kanu even as we observe this live feed at the Abuja High Court.
The pictures you're seeing on your screen is a live feed from the Federal High Court in Abuja, where the leader of the Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, has been arrested, extradited to Nigeria, and is right now being arraigned at the Federal High Court in Abuja. Kanu is facing charges bordering on treasonable felony instituted against him at the Federal High Court in Abuja in response to years of campaign for the Independent Republic of Biafra through IPOB. He was granted bail in April of 2017 for health reasons, was kept bail after flouting some of the conditions given to him by the court. He has also been on the run since then after soldiers raided his father's residence in Abia State. IPOB was later declared a terrorist group by the court after the Southeast governors prescribed it.
Again, breaking news just reaching us. The leader of the Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, has been arrested, extradited to Nigeria, and is right now being arraigned at the Federal High Court in Abuja. Kanu is facing charges bordering on treasonable felony instituted against him at the Federal High Court in Abuja in response to years of campaign for the Independent Republic of Biafra through IPOB. He was granted bail in April 2017 for health reasons, but skipped bail after flouting some of the conditions given to him by the court. He has also been on the run since then after soldiers raided his father's residence in Abia State. IPOB was later declared a terrorist group by the court after the Southeast governors prescribed it.
All right, we also brought you the news that the federal government had actually arrested the leader and the Attorney General of the Federation, the Minister of Justice, Mr. Abubakar Malami SAN, who made a disclosure to journalists today, revealed that Nnamdi Kanu was arrested and brought back to Nigeria on Sunday.
Interesting, and we're waiting to see if he'll make an emergence from the court, but we know he's currently being arraigned at the Abuja High Court. Yeah.
All right, those are the pictures of him when he was arrested and brought into Nigeria on Sunday. Let's say that Nnamdi Kanu actually founded the Indigenous People of Biafra in 2014, and according to him, the main aim of IPOB was to create an independent state for the people of all eastern region of Nigeria through an independent referendum.
Okay, well, we're told that the arrest followed a collaborative effort between security agencies in Nigeria and the Interpol. So clearly it's been something that's been in the pipelines for some time.
And Nnamdi Kanu has always had clashes with the law. On the 18th of October 2015, it was reported that Kanu had been arrested in Lagos State by Nigeria's secret police, the DSS. Kanu had told his solicitor on the 14th of October 2015 that he was arrested by agents of the federal government in his hotel in Lagos State. The solicitor, of course, in the press briefing said that between the 14th and 17th of 2015, that his clients' whereabouts were unknown until the 18th of 2015, when the press media broke the news of the arrest by the DSS in Abuja.
Yes, and he's a figure who seems to have had frequent clashes with the Southeast governors. He called them hypocrites for disowning IPOB and not, basically pledging some form of allegiance. So he's often had hard words for the Southeast governors as regards their own stance towards the federal government.
All right, we have our reporter on ground, Rachel Abioye, who is there at the Federal High Court in Abuja. Rachel, can you give us a situation report of what's been transpiring at the Federal High Court?
Okay, so we were actually in the premises and we heard what's going to come out, but we were getting some kind of rumors that they might take him through another door. So we were running around to see where they want to take him through. And then all of a sudden, we saw the vehicle outside the fence going. So we ran out to try to follow, but they're gone. Okay. But we're outside the premises now.
Okay, Rachel, would you have us believe that Nnamdi Kanu, whom we were told was being arraigned, has left the premises?
Yeah, according to what we heard, he was arraigned, but they were kind of hiding him from, meeting the press. So, yeah, they took him out. We've been running around, took him out.
Any sign of his legal representatives, anyone at all who has any connection to Nnamdi Kanu?
For now, we've not seen any because the whole place is crowded, so we've not been able to speak with anyone.
How about the representatives from the federal government?
Yeah, we might have someone to speak with.
Rachel, once again, I'm asking, how about the representatives from the federal government? Have you spoken with any of them?
Okay. We've not spoken with any yet. Yeah. But we'll do that shortly.
When did you and how did you get wind of the fact that he was being arraigned? Because there seemed to be quite a mob of media officials in the courtroom.
Sorry, please come again.
When did you and how did you get wind of the fact that he was being arraigned? Because there seems to have been a mob standing ready at the courtroom from the visuals we had.
Okay, we got the information from a news source, a credible news source, that he's been arraigned, and police gave us the information as well. And also the Minister of Justice. So we got a notification that he's been arraigned, the Minister of Justice and a credible news source.
In cases such as this, what do you feel would be the procedure? What is to be anticipated in the days and maybe weeks to come regarding this particular arrest?
What?
Did you hear me, Rachel?
What did you say? Please come again.
In cases such as this...
No, I can't hear you clearly. Please come again.
Okay. If you can hear me, I'll take that question again. In cases such as this, what is to be anticipated in terms of the schedule? What can the public expect to hear regarding a case such as this?
Yes, for now, for the fact that we got the information and for the fact that we have evidences that we've seen him and that he's actually arrested and arraigned, then we think there's no issue. Shortly, you can even have it today, tomorrow, we don't know yet, but we're hoping that we're going to, get him on camera to even speak with us, if possible.
Okay.
All right, many thanks to you, Rachel.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, many thanks to you. We'll still be catching up with you as the story develops.
Hello.
And if you're just joining us, we're actually just bringing you breaking news that the leader of the Indigenous People of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has been arrested, extradited to Nigeria, and he's right now being arraigned, or he was arraigned at the Federal High Court in Abuja. Nnamdi Kanu is facing charges bordering on treasonable felony instituted against him at the Federal High Court in Abuja in response to years of campaign for the independent Republic of Biafra through IPOB. He was granted bail in April of 2017 for health reasons, but skipped bail after flouting some of the conditions given to him by the court. He has also been on the run since then after soldiers raided his father's residence in Abuja State. IPOB was later declared a terrorist group by the court after the Southeast governors prescribed it.
Yes, and we know that Justice Binta Nyako, who granted him bail on the ground of his ill health, later revoked that bail on March 28, 2019, and issued a bench warrant for his arrest in any part of Nigeria. Yeah,
we know that also that he actually disappeared from the public eye, like we said, after his father's home was actually raided in September of 2017, an event which actually led to the death of 28 IPOB members. And he wasn't seen in public for a while, and a lot of people questioned his whereabouts up until October of 2018, when unattributed photographs and videos apparently placing him in Israel were circulated on social media. And this was later confirmed by mainstream media.
Okay, so basically what we've seen is a 2-year manhunt with the federal government, where they finally has resulted in his arrest. It said his arrest was the result of a combined team of Nigerian and foreign security agents in coordinated interception. And joining us now in the studio is Emmanuel Efeni to look into this breaking news of the arrest of the leader of the Indigenous People of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. But first, some national stories.
All right, before we get into the national story, let's actually just bring him in. And hearing this news right now, the first thing that will cross the minds of people is that he's been on the run for a while right now. And as he's been arraigned, are we sure he will get... Okay, let's get the briefing of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, SAN, who made this disclosure to journalists about his arrest and extradition.
Leader of proscribed IPOB was sometimes back arrested precisely on the 14th day of October 2015 on 11-count charge bordering on terrorism, treasonable felony, managing an unlawful society, publication of defamatory matters, illegal possession of firearms, and improper importation of goods, among others. You may also recall that a judge at the Federal High Court, Abuja, on the 28th March 2019, revoked Kanu's bail that was granted him on health ground and issued a bench warrant for his arrest on the same date over his failure to appear in court for hearing. He has, often jumping bail, been accused of engaging in subversive activities that include inciting violence through television, radio, and online broadcast against the Nigerian state and institutions. Kanu was also accused of instigating violence, especially in the southeastern Nigeria, that resulted in the loss of lives and property of civilians, military, paramilitary, police force, and destruction of civil institutions and symbols of civil authorities. Self-acclaimed leader of the proscribed secessionist Indigenous People of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has, for your information, been intercepted through the collaborative efforts of the Nigerian intelligence and security services. He has been brought back to Nigeria in order to continue facing trial after disappearing while on bail regarding 11-count charge against him. Recent steps taken by the federal government saw to the interception of the fugitive Kanu on Sunday, the 27th day of June 2021. Nnamdi Nnamdi Kanu was born on the 25th September 1967 at Afrauku, Abia State, Nigeria, and indeed a holder of Nigerian passport number A0A051368827, first issued on the 17th October 2013 at Festac, Lagos. For your information, distinguished members of the press, Kanu is as at now been produced before Federal High Court in continuation of hearing of his case in respect of which he has evaded and indeed jumped bail. Thank you very much, distinguished members of the press, for your participation. Thank you.
So that's the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, there briefing the press on the arraignment of Nnamdi Kanu, the self-acclaimed leader of the Indigenous People of Biafra. And we have with us Emmanuel Efeni to help us unpack, some of what's happened. It's breaking news for us, but it seems it's been in the pipelines for some time. They say it's been through a collaborative effort. How significant is this achievement for the Office of the Attorney General?
Well, the Attorney General just briefed the nation on how and when Nnamdi Kanu was arrested and extradited into the country. Apparently, from his own briefing, he talked about the collaborative efforts of the Nigerian security agencies. And because Nnamdi Kanu was standing trial, granted bail, and never showed up again.
Reasons, yeah.
Yes, never showed up again, which means he joined bail. It is very easy for the Nigerian security authorities to use the instrumentality of the Interpol, because this is an organization that links all police around the world to track him, because he was standing trial and he jumped bail. And apparently that effort has been ongoing, and when it bore fruits or results, that they are now making it public, and Nnamdi Kanu is in the country, and he has been taken back to the courts for the continuation of his trial. Among the charges, terrorism, illegal possession of firearms, and inciting violence. But even if he can be free of all these charges, he has added another charge, jumping bail. And so even if he's free of all that,
they will hold him on
he's likely to be sanctioned by the court for jumping bail. And also don't forget, this will be some relief to persons who stood surety for him, including Senator Yinaya Abaribe, who has been hounded for not producing Nnamdi Kanu, and he had to also answer at every point that question, where is Nnamdi Kanu? And I'm sure he will be a relieved man too, that at least he is free, haven't done, because when one of the conditions given for his bail then was a 7th senator, and he stepped forward as a senator from the southeast to stand surety for him, but apparently he jumped bail after his father disappeared. His father's
house was ransacked.
House, his palace, because his father is a traditional ruler in Afarauku, was attacked by soldiers, and he felt his life was also threatened.
I was going to bring that up to say,
yes,
could there be some argument that he only fled due to that? What he feels was maybe an oppressive, advancement of that case against him?
Well, in the eyes of the courts where he has jumped bail, I'm not sure that is going to be tenable, because if your life is under threat, the court is there for you to approach for some kind of protection also. So that is not likely. Then, more significantly, is that since he jumped bail and has been outside the country, he has not kept quiet. He has been firing on all cylinders, as sports reporters will say. And, of course, recorded speeches, television, radio, online. He's been very vocal about his position, about what IPOB should do or what IPOB has been doing. So he has a lot to answer for in this case. But most significantly, the case for which he was taken to court will now continue, in addition to that of jumping bail.
Yes, that includes the 11-count charge you're mentioning right now. So, speaking about Nnamdi Kanu, I wanted to ask a question initially, because we know that the federal government does have a bone to pick with Nnamdi Kanu, and the question will be, would he get fair trial in the eyes of the law?
Well, he's in a proper court of law, a court of competent jurisdiction, Federal High Court. He will have access to his lawyers who will defend him, and hopefully the trial will be open. Yes, you will not be allowed to come and film, perhaps, but reporters will be given access to the court to hear the proceedings, and whatever the outcome of that case at the Federal High Court, you will also have the privilege to appeal up to the Supreme Court. So it's not standing before a military tribunal. It's
all right, let's just bring this one coming in right now. This is Justice Binta Yanko of the Abuja Division of the Federal High Court on Tuesday ordered the remand of fugitive leader of the Indigenous People of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, in the custody of the Department of State Services, the DSS. All right, the remand order was sequel to an application by the federal government lawyer, Shuaibu Labaran. And Kanu was said to have been intercepted by the joint security operatives of the government. According to the Attorney General of the Federation and the Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, who made the disclosure in a joint press conference briefing with the DSS and the police, said that Kanu was arrested on Sunday, the 27th of June 2021. However, the briefing was silent on where he was arrested. And ruling on the request for remand in the custody of the DSS, Justice Yanko held that the prosecution should inform Kanu's lawyers of his rearrest and remand in the custody of the DSS. The judge subsequently adjourned till the 26th of July for the continuation of the trial. Kanu was granted bail back in 2017 and subsequently jumped bail and was declared wanted by the government. Apart from jumping bail, the federal government is also holding Kanu responsible for various acts of violence recently in the southeast.
So back to the issue of how transparent this trial will be. We saw our reporter chasing just to get a visual on him, and they were told, or the impression she gave was that he was smuggled out of the court. But you were saying that, you know, you expect the reporters to have access to enough information on this program, on this.
Yes, I think because this is the first time it's being rearranged. And if you see from that judgment we just read, not much was done than to just restate that he's back to continue the case, and he has been is going to be in the custody, not of the correctional service, but of the Department of State Security. And of course, the way they operate, they had to spirit him out of the venue. Before, I'm sure they don't want him to also have the opportunity to start making statements before the actual trial. But I'm sure we'll hear more from him when the trial begins. But it has to be open court. Journalists must have access to the court. It's not a military tribunal. And I'm sure his lawyers will be there to defend him. And there's going to be some legal fireworks also.
All right. I want to say many thanks to you, Emmanuel Afeni, Arise news analyst, for your time here on Newsday.